Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. If this is your first time here, welcome to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Just to address this and get it completely out of the way, I'm wearing the sweater vest again, so I appear classy and elegant, and people take me seriously. But I ditched the shirt, because today, I'm looking for a fight. Before we get started, I don't want to get this twisted. I am a huge fan, both figuratively and literally, of the Whiskey Vault and the Whiskey Tribe. I love Daniel and Rex. I love them. I honestly probably have an unhealthy love for them. I love the way Rex is so tall, and he grows hair so well, and he can pull off any kind of hipster outfit you want to throw at him. I love the way Daniel is not as tall, and I love the way he pronounces words ending in G like they end with a K. Those things make me so happy. I love Daniel and Rex. But there's a problem. We have what some people would consider to be a problem. I didn't want to start a beef. I didn't want to start a fight. I didn't want to start nothing. Matter of fact, some people call me a pacifist. The date today is November 4th. And like usual, I watched the Whiskey Vault video. Daniel and Rex get to talking, and they go blibbity, and then blibbity blibbity, blibbity blibbity, blibbity blibbity. You know how they do. And after they're done conversing, Rex says something that I had to rewind and listen to probably 5 times. The first 3 times were to make sure that's what he said. The other 2 times were to make sure he was serious. And then I watched it another 10 times to get me so upset. Look how fast I am without sleeves, Rex. Just so you get the point. What's an uppercut? It's right into your chin region. Probably would have missed, but you would have got the point. Jab, jab. Oh, those are 2 slow jabs. Jab, jab, just to get you comfortable, thinking that I don't have the speed or the power to harm you. Jab, jab. Oh, bango. The right hand. It's where the power comes from. Did you deserve to get beat up? Maybe not physically. But if you would have lasted 13 seconds, then you would have overcome my main weakness, which is early fatigue due to my morbid obesity and general lack of health. I'm going to play a short snippet from the Whiskey Tribe video today. Then I will try not to go into cardiac arrest due to my blood pressure. I am here to do only one thing today. Unless, of course, Rex wants to throw down, in which case I'm here to do 2 things today. But the number 1 thing is to defend the honor of America's native spirit, bourbon.
It's Woodinville.
Smells very good.
Triple barrel pot distilled whiskey. So technically this is a bourbon, but they start in heavily toasted, lightly charred American oak. Yeah. Then they're moved to used bourbon. Yeah. And then they're moved to Islay Scotch barrels.
Oh, interesting.
But it's a bourbon mash bill.
Well, okay. But it's not a bourbon.
Because of all the different things they're doing, yeah.
It's not new oak. Yeah. But damn, it smells good.
Washington.
Is why bourbon shouldn't have the new oak requirement. Just saying.
You son of a bitch. I didn't think I was going to get this fired up. America. Some people wonder why I say America every time I pull the cork out of a bourbon whiskey. And some people don't get it. But let me tell you right now. Every time the cork comes out of a bottle of bourbon whiskey, a little bit of America comes out with it. Because bourbon is America's native spirit. And if you want to touch it or change it or alter its rules, or make it different, or take its name and slander it, or take our precious liquid gold and rectify it, or Rextify it, you son of a bitch, you Rextifying son of a bitch. These are America's rules and you back off. You stay out of it. You don't make the rules. The rules have already been made. You're either bourbon or you're not bourbon. Felt like that was my Rocky moment, where I tell Rex, it's either bourbon or it's not bourbon. And then I just stick a long pour right in a glass. See that, Rex? See what's in there? And Daniel, this goes for you too. If you share the same opinion, which I think you do, I'm not 100% sure. I can't just jump on you and suffocate you to death with my huge body just yet, but I'm pretty sure I've heard you say the same thing. But if I'm wrong, totally sorry, my bad. To love the think you do when you end words with a G with K. Freaking love it. See the color on that? See the color on that Wild Turkey 101? That color doesn't come from used barrels. Bourbon has rules. It has rules. Bourbon has history and has rules. And those rules and that history is what makes bourbon so great. That's why it is America's native spirit. The color, the flavor, the natural filtration from the charcoal, that is bourbon. What do you mean exactly when you say that bourbon shouldn't need to be aged in new charred oak barrels? What do you mean? That is what bourbon is. That is what makes bourbon. That is one of the main factors into making bourbon. Otherwise, you have stuff that's not bourbon. And if you call other stuff that's not bourbon, bourbon, then guess what? Bourbon isn't bourbon anymore. And bourbon becomes confusing and less special and not as good. Brown sugar, caramel, sweet, charred oak. Here's a little bit of a challenge. Let's say you walk into a fine clothing establishment to go purchase some clothes to make you feel fancy and special. And when you go into Kohl's and you go to their discount section, their clearance, which says 80% off, but it's like 80% off of what? The price you marked up 500% when you first sold it? It's still overpriced. You go to the rack and you grab a blue t-shirt with a picture of Harry and the Hendersons on it, and it's $6.80. Large is your size. You bring it up, bleep, bleep, bleep. You use your Kohl's cash, your discount. Oh, Kohl's cash was expired, never mind. Super sorry that expired yesterday, son of a bee. You get home, throw on the Harry and Henderson's t-shirt, and whoop, too small. I thought I was a large. What the heck happened? What happened was, there's no rules. You can call anything a large. You can buy any t-shirt off the shelf that's a large, and it could be half the size of a large. There is no rules. Large, extra large, extra, extra large, extra, extra, extra large. If you're me, to make life easier, you need rules. The best thing that ever came out of the clothing industry was men's sizing for pants. You have the waist and then the inseam, and they're measured in inches. Guess what? That is accurate. You might have fat friggin' legs, so some pants might not fit great, but at least you know it's gonna fit around your waist and not only go down to your knees. You know what you're getting yourself into. Pretty much literally. Bourbon is the men's pant sizing of whiskey. There are rules. You know what you're getting yourself into, for the most part. If you want to take a whiskey with a bourbon mash bill and age it in other different types of barrels, you can't call it a bourbon. I'm sorry. You can call it literally anything else. You can call it whatever you want. There's no shortage of names. You just pick a name. Just pick a name. I'm drawing a line in the metaphorical YouTube sand. And this line represents the rules and the history of bourbon and America's native spirit. And I double, triple, quadruple, or whatever you call even more than that, dare you to cross that line and try to change the rules, or even mention that those rules should be changed. Daniel and Rex, I'm sure that they won't see this video, but if they do see it, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Just remember this. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, and like I always say, keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on standing up or sitting down for something you believe in, like bourbon. That was Matt's weekly whiskey tirade. And I feel like it went pretty well. I feel like I could have crafted maybe some more arguments, or maybe presented my arguments better. But also at the same time, I don't even know what happened. I don't even know if I'm recording. That's good. We're recording. And by the way, doesn't like a bunch of Scotch and Irish whiskeys and like other whiskeys from around the world, don't they use first filled bourbon barrels for like their stuff? Don't they use bourbon barrels for their product? You need bourbon to make that. Think about that. Just thought about that myself. And I gave myself a pat on the back with my short little T-Rex arms. Good job. Good job, Matt.